Okay, in this video, let's take a look at Will Zalatoris, runner-up in the Masters in his first Masters. Just an amazing performance. So let's take a look at this one. Great pedigree, awesome junior record, wins a lot of golf tournaments. So you can see he's got the mental game dialed. Let's see what happens with this golf swing here. So good setup, tall. He's over 6 feet tall. And as he gets the club up here to the top, a lot of width in this golf swing going back. So it creates a lot of width early, super wide, doesn't set it too much at the top. Not as much hinge as normal. And his downswing is unique. He makes a interesting move down, changes his level, gets into a very athletic move here, using the ground, using his body, not pulling on the arms early. And at this point here, the club is a little too far off the plane to be really where he wants it. So at this point, this club would be better off being closer into here. So to get it to drop in there, he then has to start bending back to the right. And as he does that, he gets the club in the slot, right forearm almost on the plane, getting close. And you can see the wrist position is very good here. Left wrist nice and square now. Sometimes it gets a little open in his golf swing, but here he is. Now this ball was not exactly ripped down the middle, but he hit tons of them that were this week, obviously. He does bend backward to get, like I said, the shaft back down to the plane. He also has a lot of downloading of the wrists, which creates a lot of lag and keeps the hands out in front. So that combination keeps the face pretty square, but you can see how much crunch he's getting as he crunches down to the side here to get that club planed out. And there are times he doesn't get as low as he needs to, or he has to jump sort of up out of it in the process, and that creates the double miss. But let's face it, this guy has got this move dialed. If you look back at his old videos from when he's a junior player, it's identical. And he does get that face back into position and the shaft more often than not. Interesting enough, too, he's learned his combination of compensations is to get the feet or the foot alignment so that the left foot is back a little bit off the line, sort of an open-looking stance. This ball did miss to the right. Once again, he's sort of prone to that with his shot. He can miss it both ways, but when he dips way underneath it, it's hard for that club face to close down. It's going to peel off to the right. But this one here, backswing plane looks great, really reaching it out nice and wide. I like the takeaway here with the shoulders moving well and a great extension. Super wide at the top. And once again, with it being that high up, as he starts to move forward with his body and changes position, as he gets more bent forward, that actually steepens the downswing slightly. And having a slightly open stance helps that in his case. As he comes down, like I said, now he tries to dip back underneath it. And there's that move there. You can see he's very good at getting the plane back into position. Obviously, he's an excellent young player. But that compensation, like I said, it's a little tougher on some days, I'm sure, than others. But those are great positions for the shaft. The angle is perfect. But in this particular case, he was obviously not wanting to miss it left, and he hung on to it and hit it out to the right. But that is a lot of bend, and I would say, I'm not sure how his back will hold up, but it does look like there could be some trouble in this back. He is super fit, super thin, and hopefully that body will hang in there for the long haul. Otherwise, he may have to change his technique slightly to keep that back healthy. Here's another drive where he did miss the ball off to the right. And once again, setup-wise, we can see the stance quite a bit left here. Like I said, that's one of his compensations. By getting the stance a little bit open, he can shallow that downswing out a little bit easier as he drives out underneath it. There's a great takeaway, which he's got dialed. Down move with the body. And if you look at the wrists here, once again, the wrists are a little bit more cupped there than some players. The face slightly more open at this point than some players. I have seen video of his where the face is a little more square and the wrist is a little flatter, certainly with some iron shots, but sometimes it gets a little more open. And then as he drops this one, he certainly got this one closer to the plane, for sure. Then as he comes in, like I said, driving hard underneath it, he just hit this ball just off to the right of the bunkers out in here. But amazing move through here. Hips wide open, jumping up off the ground, using the ground. And like I said, he's built that compensation in. Same swing he's had for years. But cool to watch. I really hope he keeps it going the rest of the season and we can follow his progress. If we take a look at this iron shot here, we can get a pretty good view of that club face angle. So as he goes back, we know the plane is fine on the way up. Like I said, compared to a lot of guys, they get the face much squarer at this point, the wrist more bowed. So a little more open here with the wrist position, which creates, or cupped rather, which creates more of that open face position coming down. And then as he makes his transition move, he's so good at using the body. And by moving the body downward and moving the torso downward, the arm will stay suspended for a second. And as that arm stays suspended, then he gets to the point where he's really using the ground, using his body to deliver the club. He's not using his hands. And so he's in this position here. You can see he's really using the body well. The arms are being pulled into position. And there's the left arm directly across the chest. And now he'll start to open up to really let that club rip through there. In this position here, like we saw a little on the other view, one of the driver views, we can see this club, or this wrist position rather, perfectly bowed down, perfect at this point. And so there are just certain swings where he just doesn't have the timing to quite get that bowed position back where he needs it, another time where he nails it. But it is very interesting to watch a signature style swing where as soon as we see him on TV, we'll know exactly who it is. I think it's certainly interesting to note that in his case, with his putting style, Bryson DeChambeau also with the club locked against the forearm, and we can see just how long the putter is here. So it comes all the way up to the forearm. He locks it in there with the right, or with the left wrist sort of cupped around or hooked around, and then uses the claw right hand to move the golf club. So very interesting putting technique, but it will be interesting to see just how many people started adapting or adopting this type of technique where they're holding that forearm and the shaft against one another. So it's really a Bernhard longer technique. He did it years and years and years ago, but some of the new players like Bryson and Zalatoris really using this technique. It does make the club work very simply back and through. The wrists are very passive, and that's why a lot of guys like to use it. So very interesting to see if he keeps that his whole career as well, and how many other guys start to use that forearm sort of locking into that long putter. Well, the last clip we'll look at here is a little bit of a routine clip. It shows his golf swing the same. This is several years ago, and he's just talking through his routine. So he does have a sports psychologist he works with, and he does understand routine very well. He knows his routine. He knows he has one waggle. He knows when he looks, how many times he looks. So he's very, very accomplished at this age for understanding the mental game. And this is 5-6 years ago. So he knew his routine back then. That's what made him such a great junior player, such a great college player. We see the same exact swing here. Same positions at the top, same transition move exactly. Face a little more open, like I said, than some players at this point coming down. Then bows it down into position as he opens up. Clearing out. Beautiful swing right on through. But a very accomplished player, both mentally and physically, and certainly the mental game for him, you can tell very advanced mental game. Understands the value of the routine, works the routine, and has worked it for years, which allows him to really excel at such high levels. Okay, well that's going to wrap it up for this video. If it's your first time to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. And if you like the video, hit the like button as well. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.